Sound check, sound check. Ha.
Right. You are watching Leap Mag here at the LCS Spring Finals, and with me I've got PiraTechnics. Welcome aboard.
Thank you very much. Good to be here, and hey, thanks for interviewing me.
Well, that's actually, I'm supposed to say thanks for letting me interview you, but I'll take that. We'll go with that.
Hey man, I like to talk.
That's fortunate, because you're going to. Now, first off, obviously you're slightly new on the crew, but you're not exactly new. I mean, you do have LPL experience and all that. What's it like making the change? Because I mean, obviously your style is fairly similar to the other Europeans in the sense that you're a bit more analytical than what you see normally in the NA. So how do you feel you fit in with the rest of them, and what's it like, you know, changing hemisphere, so to speak?
Well, okay, let me answer the first part of the question, because it definitely has been a big change from atmosphere, what I've been doing. You don't really see the whole crowd, obviously, when you're in your bedroom trying to broadcast at a certain time of night. LPL was on, obviously, at like 3 a.m. in the Pacific time zone. So that's a big change, not having to be nocturnal. It's kind of nice. And analytically, it's just always been more of my style to try and break down the game. I'm not always 100% correct in everything that I'm making an assessment out of, but I've had the huge pleasure to work with guys like Deficio and Quickshot, and they're just absolutely brilliant in what they say and what they do, and I've learned a lot from them. So, you know, obviously, as that goes, I improve my own analytics. Shifting hemispheres, going over to Europe, it's been an absolute blast. I've gotten to go on the road. It's the first time here in Madrid, first time really in Europe when I came to Berlin a few months ago. But so far, you know, the people here are incredible. The fans are extremely energetic, and it's just a huge pleasure to be a part of it. And at first I thought maybe, oh, well, I'd be a little bit more comfortable, a little bit closer to home, but no, this is an adventure, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
You pretty much started on your Todd, on your own, and came in and became like a part of Riot. What do you think made you viable for this? What set you apart somehow?
Well,
I am in fact asking you to toot your own horn here.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to do that in the best possible way without making it sound like, yes, I'm the best ever, obviously. You know, it's a combination of ability to do it, the willingness to put in the hours and the work and the time, whatever that may be, and, you know, a little bit of luck. You got to be in the right place at the right time, and there's always opportunities coming about, but I just happen to be very fortunate in that regard. I had a decent paying job before this. I was doing something completely different. I was a software developer, but I watched a lot of League of Legends and a lot of StarCraft, and I've always been a pretty big talker. So I thought, you know, I did think, hey, if they can do it, I can, but how could I do it? Well, I had no plan. I had no idea how I could get into it. Instead, I just jumped online. I started finding random solo queue games. I just started casting them, and, you know, it took some time to get up to a level of skill, but as long as you make contacts, you contact everyone you know, you try to ask them, how can I improve at this? How can I improve at this? Be open to critique, even if sometimes people will give you some critique that's not maybe what you want to hear. You have to hear that sort of thing.
This is the internet, after all.
This is the internet. You have to deal with people who are going to want to beat you down quite as much as possible. But I've been very fortunate in the fact that I've gotten so much positive impact, or so much positive feedback from people telling me, yeah, you did great at this, you can improve at this, but always very, very good stuff. And I think with that kind of encouragement, I've been very fortunate in what people have been telling me, and of course being noticed. I mean, the LPL thing was a massive breakthrough. That was a little bit luck as well. So all good things, and you just keep at it, and you eventually make your own luck.
Obviously I'm not going to ask you to play favorites because it's a bit early in the match, and technically the second match is only playing right now. But having watched the first one, and we did have a quick little ruffle about, what do you think that we need to kind of be like aware of what happens? Because I mean, on one hand we have Fnatic, who while being a powerhouse are a new Fnatic, so there is a different kind of thing going for them. And on the other hand, we have Unicorns of Love, which pretty much means all bets are off. What do you think we need to be aware of here?
Well, I think you kind of said it right there. All bets are off. With the Unicorns, you really cannot predict a single thing. You can't take any of those horses to the races. That's really the key. So with that being said, Fnatic, they have to be on their guard to be able to, you know, you can talk about cheese all the time, but really it's just preparing for any number of things. The amount of innovation that this squad does bring makes it so that it's very difficult to really prepare for an individual set of things. You have to be just prepared to win on your own measures. You have to be stronger, you have to outplay. You can never gain an advantage in the picks and bans against a team like Unicorns of Love. So Fnatic needs to be aware of that. Everyone watching needs to be aware of that. And I think this is going to be a very, very long match regardless, because both teams are incredibly strong. Otherwise, they wouldn't have made it here.
Now, just before, I told you I wasn't going to ask you to play favourites. What I was in fact doing there was lying to you, to your face. I was lulling you into a false sense of security, so you let your guard down, because I am in fact going to ask you to play favourites. In your gut, and I realised that you might have to go and interview the other team in a minute. And they're going to watch this, so bear this in mind. But in your gut, who do you think is going to walk with this? Who do you think is going to win, and why?
Ooh, now the why is the real hard part, because again, it's very, very hard to tell what's going on. At the time, Unicorns are up 1-0. Fnatic are still a very, very strong team. I think they can make this happen in a 5-game series. No matter what, it's going to go to 5 games. There's your prediction right there. But who's going to win this one? It's going to come down to a single fight. And if there's anything I know about the Unicorns, they make fights turn in their favor that they absolutely shouldn't. So if all goes like that, it's going to be 3-2 for them.
So we have a prediction for the Unicorns?
We do, but it's going to be a very close call either way.
You're not the only one. I've been rooting for them since the start. Do you know what? I would like to thank you very much for joining us, mate. It was an absolute pleasure. Hope to see a lot more of you. Likewise. For the rest of you, to stay on tune with what happens here at the LCS Spring Finals, stay tuned with LeapMagazine.com. Ta.